Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jasmine McDonald. If you're new here, I post ballet and fitness related videos every single Tuesday, Thursday, and now Sunday, and I've been posting every single day in October. Now, if you're new here, you might not know I'm also a former professional ballerina, and in today's video, I'm going to be explaining reasons why I will never go back to the professional ballet world while I get ready to go to a ballet class, which is kind of funny. Anyways, like I said, I used to be a professional ballerina. I graduated from Canada's National Ballet School in 2014, and I went on to do their post-secondary program. I did exchange programs with some schools in the US, such as the San Francisco Ballet School, and then ultimately I got a job in Eastern Europe. Before then, I actually got like a contract with a company in Dresden, Germany, and I worked there for a month, and I stayed in Europe for like 2 months just auditioning and everything and taking company classes, and that is probably where I met most of my hardships when it comes to my professional career, because not only is auditioning scary to begin with, but facing rejection is so daunting. Now, you will face rejection with whatever job that you take, whether you're going to be an engineer, a school teacher, going to be a dancer, literally with whatever job you are taking, you're going to face rejection. But ballet rejection is something that's so personal, or at least it feels personal, when really it isn't. Like, I remember when I went to some auditions, people would tell me that my technique was bad, or that I physically looked bad or out of shape, and people were blunt with it, but I just didn't know at the time that it really wasn't personal. You know, it feels like it is, and it feels like it's an attack on you, but truly it's either you're not what they're looking for, or that director is just like not the nicest, and you don't want to be working for someone who thinks poorly of you anyways. You want to surround yourself with people who hype you up, people who support you, people who want you to thrive, not people who dim your light. So that's one of the reasons that I think the ballet world is toxic to a lot of people, and I think it's something that needs to change, and it has changed in a lot of places. I will say that, especially in like North America. I think companies are a lot more accepting of different body types, body shapes, and where people are coming from, how they identify. I think a lot of companies still have a long way to go in terms of acceptance, but I think it is going in the correct direction. As we continue into reasons that I will not be ever going back to the professional ballet world, I do have to preface this by saying I would not trade my experience for the world. I love being a professional ballerina, and I think it's taught me a lot, and it's shaped me to who I am. So I don't regret any of my career choices or my decisions. That being said, it's just not something that I'm willing to go back to right now or ever, because ultimately I love what I do, and I'm a dance teacher now, and I create content on YouTube, on TikTok, on other platforms, and I absolutely love what I do because of a few reasons. Firstly, as a dancer, I did not make that much. I was making about a quarter of what I make now, maybe even a fifth. I was making an abysmal amount of money as a dancer, and money's not everything, but ultimately, in order to sustain your health and well-being, you do need to invest in your health and well-being, and that includes feeding yourself correctly so you don't get injured, you know, making sure that you're fueled before shows. And there was a point where I literally wasn't paid for like 3 months. Like, it was horrible, and I couldn't afford the basic necessities. Now, I will say my mom was super supportive and helpful in that time. I'm so lucky. I don't know what I would have done had I not had family by my side, even though they were like an ocean away, because my mom did help me financially at that point. But even for that to happen, that is not normal in a lot of places. Like, most companies pay you. That's literally what they're supposed to do. So anyways, that was only like one circumstance, but even with that, it was so stressful because not only were we required to show up, but we still had to perform, even though we weren't being paid that much. And I think that's a huge rhetoric in the ballet world. And one of the reasons I'll never go back is because of that rhetoric, that you have to love what you do and you have to be so appreciative, even if you're not being paid. Like, there's apprenticeships and there's, you know, other programs that they don't pay their dancers, or they give them like a free stay or hotel stay or plane ticket in exchange for their performance and their work. But I don't think that's fair, because you have to buy your pointe shoes sometimes. Most companies do supply those, but like I said, we live in a society where you need to be able to pay your rent. You need to feed yourself. So I don't think it's too much for dancers to advocate for themselves for a good salary. Now, I will say I understand why dance isn't paid so much. It is an art form. Most art forms aren't paid that much, in contrast to like lawyers, doctors, engineers. And that makes a lot of sense because, you know, there's not a lot of money in the arts in a lot of places, but in Europe there is. So I just think dancers aren't paid enough ultimately, and I didn't feel like I was being paid enough for what I was doing. I was showing up to work 6 days a week, and my salary was a fifth of what I make now as a dance teacher and on social media, because it was just such a small salary. And for the amount of work, again, I loved my work, not complaining. But at the same time, if I ever want to settle down, have a family, like save, buy a house, buy a car, afford my rent, you know, it just wasn't something that was sustainable. So money is a huge reason why I'll never go back. And I'm not gonna lie about that. I know a lot of people are like, well, you do what you love and you don't do it for money. Yes and no. But there comes a point where you do need money in order to continue doing what you love. And I'm not going to lie about that. Another reason I'll never go back is because of the work environment and the amount of work you have to do for the little amount of money. Again, not to bring it back to money, but also you're required to do everything all the time. And I think there's a lot required for dancers, and not only are they not compensated, but I feel like in companies, directors and teachers kind of take advantage of the fact that young dancers are so eager to do a lot that they run them to the ground. You know, there's not like a healthy balance in the dance world sometimes where you need to rest and recuperate and perform. I feel like, especially for me, when I was a dancer, I can say this firsthand because I got injured so much when I was younger, because I never knew how to rest, because every single opportunity that came my way, I was hungry for it, but then I was also expected to do everything. And even if I had come up and said like, you know, I just need a break, there's no such thing as that. Like you'll be looked down on. That was my experience. I'm not saying it's everybody's experience. And this video isn't, again, say like, woe is me. Oh my gosh, my life was so hard. I love what I did. I absolutely loved it. Also, I'm using this pretty shimmery shade from my Corpse Bride palette. Another reason I'll never leave is because genuinely I love what I do now. I love being able to be a positive influence on young dancers, and I love thinking that, you know, I had teachers when I was younger that I looked up to. So I hope that I could be that for someone one day. And even on social media, like I try to share the good, the bad, the ugly, the awesome, the not so awesome things about ballet and dance. And I try to be transparent about it because I want dance to survive. It's not because I want to bring it down and say like, oh my gosh, this environment is horrible. No, I want to make it better, and I want to share my experience in hopes that, no, history doesn't repeat itself when it comes to negativity in the dance world, but also I think there's a lot to learn from people's experiences, and there's a lot to learn from like even my own experience for myself. You know, I've learned to always advocate for myself, to listen to my body, to rest when it needs it, and to know when a company isn't a good fit, and to also be able to discern whether someone is being kind and honest or if someone's just being plain rude. Because I definitely had that as a professional dancer. But like I said, I love what I do. I want dance to survive. I want dance to thrive. I want dancers to continue to advocate for themselves, and I want dancers to continue to be healthy and successful artists, because dance is about spreading joy. And I love the fact that as a dance teacher, I can help people get better in dance in hopes that even if they don't pursue it, they just get to enjoy it for longer, because every body is a dancer's body. Everybody should have the opportunity to dance if they want to. And yeah, this sounds like a Miss America speech. But another reason that I'll never become a professional dancer is because I love what I do. I love teaching. I love my life. I love the security that my job gives me. My jobs, I guess I should say. I love the schedule, even though it's like the complete opposite schedule, but not really. Here's the thing. When I was a professional ballerina, my schedule every day was like company class at 10 until 11:30, and then rehearsals from noon until 3, and then we had a break, and then like 4 until 6. So I worked like 10 to 6 every day. And then on show days, I worked 10 to 3, and then I worked shows from like 6:30 or 7 until like 11. But I only did shows like twice a week. I'd say at maximum, I do it like 4 times a week during that cracker season. But even with that, that was only for a short amount of time during the year. But now my schedule, I have like the whole morning free, which is awesome. Like right now I can, you know, vlog and talk to you guys and hang out, clean the house and have some free time. And then I work in the evenings because I teach, and I love the schedule. I absolutely love what I do. I couldn't say that more times. But yeah, another reason I will never be a professional ballerina is simply because I want to stay put. Where I live, there's no companies that are close enough, in my opinion, that it's worth the commute. Because again, not to bring it back to money, but you have to think, okay, to commute, I need gas for my car, or I need to get like a pass, like a train pass or something. And if you're not compensated that well, then like, how are you going to be able to afford it? Also, I don't want to be having to commute like an hour every single day, even though I already do that, but it's different. I don't know. I'd have to commute like 6 days a week versus I only commute 3 or 4 days a week right now. And yeah, I just don't want to have to face the city traffic, face the city in general. And I am old. That's another reason that I won't go back. I'm not actually old. Like, it's never too late to go back into it, but personally, I feel fulfilled in my performance career, in my dancer's performance career, but I feel content doing what I'm doing, sharing my love of dance with others, and those are ultimately the reasons I won't be a professional ballerina. Now, had you asked me the same question in like 2020 when I officially retired, I would say that I want to go back, you know, I'd want to go back to professionally dancing, maybe in a smaller company, in another place, but now since we've moved and found our house, I love life. I just love it. I'm so happy. I also probably would have said another reason that I wouldn't go back when I was younger is because of my mental health. Now, I did need to kind of stop my dance career professionally because of my mental health, as well as coupled with the fact that it just wasn't providing for me in the way that I wanted. But yeah, it was something that I needed to do, and I couldn't be happier now, and I'm really happy that I did that, even though it was hard to do, because as a dancer, you really do take that on as your entire personality, and when you're not dancing anymore, like, who are you? You have a huge identity crisis. And I know it's a huge first world problem. This is just my experience I'm sharing with you guys on the internet, but anyways, that's basically why I will never be a professional dancer. Yeah, I hope that answers a lot of questions, because I do have a lot of questions on my TikTok, especially people being like, well, why aren't you dancing anymore? You know, like, you're actually pretty young. I'm actually not. I'm like 28. I am young, but as a dancer, like, that's not young anymore. Most companies hire you when you're fresh out of school, like 18, and I'm 10 years older than most people would be auditioning. And yeah, anyways, that pretty much answers that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I just ranted the whole time, but I'm ready for class now. I'm going to go do my ballet class. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, happy dancing, and until next time, bye now.